The past couple years have been challenging for the restaurant industry, especially the full-service dining sector. But there's one set of restaurants bucking the trend: Texas Roadhouse and Longhorn Steakhouse. Between 2019 and 2024, the two companies' sales are up over 55% and over 80%. In 2024, Texas Roadhouse became the biggest casual dining restaurant.
They really are standing sort of above their peer group in terms of overall performance and in terms of just growth and success right now in the restaurant business.
Picture this. You walk into a restaurant that markets itself as your friendly neighborhood hangout. Applebee's promises comfort food and warm smiles. But when the plate arrives, half of it feels like it was yanked from a freezer box and nuked just minutes ago.
I think that's why you've seen Roadhouse and Longhorn deliver trends that are, above what the industry's seeing.
So what's driving consumers to these steakhouses? And what makes them a standout in the restaurant sector, surpassing Olive Garden, who held the top spot since 2018?
These value steakhouses exist in kind of the sweet spot where it's tough to replicate the experience.
Olive Garden is the most profitable and by far the biggest of its brands, having done over $5 billion in sales in fiscal 2024. Texas Roadhouse and Longhorn Steakhouse parent company Darden Restaurants have significantly outperformed the S&P over the past 5 years.
That gap between promise and reality isn't just disappointing. It's the trap casual dining chains rely on. Today, we're exposing the worst offenders hiding behind nostalgia and cheap cocktails and revealing the two rare chains that still give you genuine value for your money.
There's something about steak that it really rings true to the consumer as still being kind of an elevated or a premium consumption or dining experience. We do expect Texas Roadhouse to deliver trends that are above the industry, but already trades at a higher valuation than the rest of the industry. And so we think that outperformance over the next 12 months is already priced into the stock. And so I think it's fair to say that it has been a key growth driver for the stock and something that investors are always keen to focus on whenever Darden reports their earnings and to see how Longhorn is performing.
Stick with us. You'll want to hear this list first. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Steak is often associated with high-end restaurants whose price points may be out of reach for the average US consumer. These chains have made steak accessible. Experts say that value is one of the primary reasons why these restaurants are outperforming.
You can't underestimate the investment that these chains make in their general managers at the store level, right? The store level manager really is probably the most critical piece to any restaurant chain's success. And so I think Texas Roadhouse.
Plus, there's a major focus put on experience. Portion sizes, for example, at Longhorn, or a strong workplace culture at Texas Roadhouse. The company offers its restaurant managers the option to earn a percentage of the store's profits.
What hides beneath the neon glow and bottomless appetizers that fill these restaurants with families every night? At first glance, casual dining promises more than food. It sells a feeling. It offers the illusion of a local gathering spot, the coziness of budget comfort food, and the idea that you're part of a friendly neighborhood tradition.
An uncooked ribeye at a grocery store near our studio here in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, costs about $22 for a 20-ounce steak. A ribeye of the same size and cut, cooked any way you like it at a Texas Roadhouse about 8 miles away, is only $9 more.
That's the pitch. It's simple, nostalgic, and hard to resist after a long day when cooking at home feels exhausting. But that promise falls apart once you look past the menus with smiling faces and made-for-you taglines. Instead of kitchens bustling with chefs, you find conveyor belt operations designed for speed. Meals arrive pre-packaged, frozen, or portioned long before you ever placed an order. Sodium levels are cranked up to cover bland flavor. Drinks, heavily marked up, start carrying more importance to the restaurant's bottom line than the entrees themselves. Take Chili's as an example. The sizzling fajitas that seem to slide through the dining room on hot platters often reach the table lukewarm, the peppers soggy, the steak dry. The spectacle sets an expectation, yet the actual bite feels closer to reheated leftovers than freshly grilled meat. Applebee's follows a similar path, advertising hearty comfort dishes, but serving entrees that are microwave-ready products dressed up with garnishes to look handmade. The trick isn't flavor, it's presentation. TGI Fridays leans even harder on sauces to disguise the truth. The ribs, chicken, or burgers might change, but the syrups of sticky sweetness poured over them hide meats that often lack seasoning or quality. Red Lobster plays a more direct bait and switch, insisting on the appeal of fresh seafood while handing over lobster or shrimp with the unmistakable texture of thawed freezer stock. And then there's Olive Garden, branding itself as a Tuscan escape, when much of the menu is pasta blanketed in heavy cream sauces that taste like they were poured straight from a jar. All of it works because the restaurants know customers respond to atmosphere, free refills, and discounted cocktails. Yet not every chain abandons substance. Two still manage to protect quality where the others fail. After running through the endless crowd of chain disappointments, two names still manage to hold their ground. They do not disguise shortcuts with sugary sauces or microwave heat. Instead, they build an identity through consistency and value, making them rare survivors in an industry overloaded with mediocrity. The first is Texas Roadhouse. From the moment you sit down, the experience feels different. The fresh-baked rolls arrive hot, soft, and paired with cinnamon butter that has become an emblem of the brand. People often talk about those rolls even more than the entrees, which says something about how strong the impression is. But what really matters is how the kitchen approaches steak. You can order a hearty cut of meat without fearing whether it was reheated or seasoned days earlier. And when you compare the price of a sirloin here to one at an upscale steakhouse, the difference is striking. What would cost nearly double elsewhere comes to the table at Texas Roadhouse with sides and still tastes like an honest steak cooked for you that night. The atmosphere adds another layer. The floors scattered with peanut shells, the buzz of servers singing, and a packed dining room create a sense of energy that other chains can't replicate. It's not quiet, it's not polished, but it feels alive. And for many guests, that matters as much as the food on their plate. The second chain carves out success in a different way. Walk into a Cracker Barrel and you notice the wooden rocking chairs lined across the porch, the general store attached to the dining area, and menus loaded with comfort foods like country ham breakfasts or chicken and dumplings. The formula works because the restaurant is selling nostalgia before you see a plate of food. Yet the meals carry the same consistency in taste and price every visit, which separates it from others that rely on branding with no payoff. Together, these two prove that casual dining doesn't have to be smoke and mirrors. Understanding why they thrive gives you a better shield against the casual dining trap elsewhere. Most casual dining chains run on a formula that focuses more on marketing than meals. They promise comfort and atmosphere, but the food itself often comes straight from a freezer or a microwave. Diners pay for the illusion of value while the restaurant profits from drink markups and endless appetizers. The difference comes from the few chains that still match what they advertise with what they serve. Knowing which is which matters if you want quality for your money. Share your worst chain dining stories in the comments. Subscribe for more breakdowns, and expect more than gimmicks wrapped in branding.